Oh, hello. It's me. You know, it's it's Irate-Marauder. Don't mind my mustache. It's very fabulous. Today, I'm gonna talk about my favorite Beatles albums of 2011. No, we're not doing it. Anyway, while I put my mustache back on the tape thing, how are you guys doing? I just put up a video earlier about the update on my YouTubes. I said I'm going to start making more videos, so I might as well start off my YouTube career. And this is really not going well. That was really sticky too, because it's sticking to the top of my lips. But let's start. That's going to be good enough. Let's start my YouTube career over again. Yes, over again, because I've been on YouTube a long time. I've been on since like 2008, really. I mean, honestly, it's been 6 years. Incredible! Anyway, so I'm gonna move it more close so you guys can hear better audio quality, which I think the other one had pretty decent audio quality, so don't even think about what I'm doing. Anyway, so as I said before, in that really shitty, I don't understand what the fuck that was. I have a bunch of mustaches. I might as well use some of them, but I'm going to talk about my top 5 favorite Beatles albums of all time. Now, you're probably wondering, man, how is he a Beatles fan? Look, right over there, he has his hats, and he has this NBA, and NBA players listen to me. Fuck off. First of all, you haven't subscribed to me. No, I'm just kidding. But, I'm just a newer Beatles fan. I know stuff that, like, moderate fans might know, but I'm starting to get into it a lot. Beatles are my favorite artist of all time. It used to be Eminem, and that's because I used to be really into hip-hop, and he's always kind of been there, but he's now second, and then Nas is third, and then Pac is fourth, and then Dre is fifth. So, I mean, you can tell, they kind of shook me up a lot. Well, not like, I'm going to shake you, but more like, BAM! That was one take. Anyway, so I decided, I was like, before I said on my other video I was going to do a comparison, and I'll tell you what the comparison is. It was going to be of I Want You versus Stairway to Heaven, and it's still going to happen. I still want to do that because I feel it is really similar of a song. It's real similar of a song to each other. So that's kind of, I want to do it eventually, not today though. Today I was thinking, I was like, let's start off with a big bang like that. I don't like this, but you know, I'm just saying, let's start off with a bang, and let's just get into it, because honestly, I was going to do all the Beatles albums in order. I was like, I don't really feel like doing that, so I'm just going to do my top 5, which I definitely know my top 5. Sometimes I have to think about it, but it's honestly going to be this. Now, I have it on a notepad right now, and I'm looking at it, and it might change, because 2 of the albums on here I like equally, but there's one that I like a little bit above the other one, and it's in the wrong spot. So I'll tell you when I get there. Okay, number 5. Now this one's going to be a little bit of a surprise, because a lot of people are probably going to be like, looks like Rubber Soul's going to be number 5, or it's going to be number 1, or Revolver's going to be number 1 or number 5, or it's going to be like Beatles for Sale. Like, really, dude, Beatles for Sale, or Yellow Submarine. Well, first of all, they're all great albums, and they all deserve a place on a top list. But honestly, this is my top 5 Beatles albums of all time. So it's not, I personally don't like a lot Beatles for Sale. I thought it was kind of just like forgettable. Revolver, I've come around to it more, but when the first 2 or 3 listens, I thought it was forgettable. Rubber Soul, there's memorable songs, but the songs that I don't remember, again, they were forgettable. Yellow Submarine, it's amazing, but at the same time, the second half isn't even really Beatles. it's more instrumentation, which I'm fine with because I love instrumentation. But come on, I mean, I can't really say I really like that as one of my top favorites. And am I dissing all the albums? No, I'm just saying I have personal different tastes than everyone else. So suck it up and take it like a bitch. Anyway, wait. Okay, we're just gonna go with it. Okay, number uno, dos, tres, cuatro, cinco, or 5 if you're Asian. It's 5. Just kidding. You know, 5 is really Spanish. Okay, so number 5 is Hard Day's Night, and you're probably wondering why Hard Day's Night? Why? It's worse than Revolver. It's worse than Rubber Soul. Okay. Well, honestly, I like it a hell of a lot better. And to be perfectly honest, with the Beatles, I don't see. A lot of people say their earlier stuff is a little questionable at times. I kind of like their older stuff a little bit better than well, no, not their older. Well, yeah, technically their older stuff is from like 65 to 62. So 62 to 65. I like those years a little bit better. I don't know, I just relate to them a little bit more. So anyway, and this is actually going to be the only album from that period on my top 5. So yeah. Anyway, so what did I like about this album? I thought the album was really great overall. I really like the track list. I like how this first, I think, 7 tracks. I have my iTunes up so I can see what tracks there are, because I don't like to remember tracks a lot. So, the first 8 tracks are really great. The last 5, I don't really listen to a lot, but I think the first 8 tracks, it could have just been a small EP, and it probably still would have been on the list. So, I mean, I think my favorite songs would probably be my favorite song by the Beatles is "Can't Buy Me Love," so that's my favorite song off the album. But if I had to pick another one, it's "If I Fell." I mean, that's just a really good song. So I mean, you mean whatever, man. But number 4, and this one's going to be a huge surprise to a lot of people because this is their number 1, and a lot of people consider it the best album of all time. And I don't know, I'm going to get hate. I know it, but I gotta say it. It's Abbey Road. And why? Here's the thing. The first 7 tracks I've listened to over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. Tracks 8 through 17. They're great, don't get me wrong. But what I remember from the album is mainly George Harrison songs. And those are something, and Here Comes the Sun, I don't know if he does any other songs, I don't think so. He might do some songs on the melody side, but I'm not fully sure. Don't quote me on it. But so, well, I just opened Skype. So, what did I really like about the album? Well, I liked the sound of it. I thought it's probably their most serious project. If that makes any sense. The sound is a lot more classicer. I'm just full of great words today, folks. It has more of a classic rock feel. The other ones felt like they were like experimental and pop and all this other stuff. But I can honestly say this is a really good rock album. And this is probably the only rock album you'll see on the list. And that's just because I believe Abbey Road is their only true rock album. Because all the other ones did a lot of experimentation. There's not really any major rock elements on it, but they're still considered a rock band, which I don't totally understand. But Abbey Road is a rock album. Best rock album I've ever heard, but considering the Beatles are rock and pop, still 3 more. Number 3, and this is going to be the one that's going to be switched, because on here, number 3 is actually going to be number 2. So, number 2... I'm not telling you yet, but number 3 is the White Album. And we're getting out to the nitty-gritty, folks. The White Album is a really solid effort, and the reason I like it is because there's a lot of variety. And if you were to sit down and listen to it, you'd probably be like, okay, I'm interested. And then you'd be like, okay, that was really good. And then you'd probably be like, yeah. Then you'd be like, okay, I'm interested again. And then you'd be like, eh. And then you'd be like, okay, again. And it's like on and off. And here's the thing. A lot of people say that this album has a lot of filler, and then there's a lot of people who say there isn't a lot of filler. There is. There's quite a bit of filler. God, there's a lot of bit of filler on this album, on this double album. Just saying, not one disc and it's called a double album like that. It doesn't make sense. No. Let's go. Let's go through the tracks really fast. Not through the tracks like every single one, but I'm going to go through the ones that probably are the best off the album. Back in USSR, Dear Prudence, Glass Onion, Obla Di, Obla Da. The continuing story of Bungalow Bill, While My Guitar Gently Weeps, Happiness is a Warm Gun, I'm So Tired. Blackbird, Not Piggies, Fuck Piggies. Why Don't We Do It in the Road? That's off the first disc. First disc is really fucking great and has 17 songs on it. Right there, it should tell you why it's one of my favorite Beatles LPs. Number 1 off the second disc, Birthday, Your Blues, Mother Nature's Son, Everybody's Got Something to Hide Except For Me and My Monkey, Sexy Sadie, Helter Skelter, Revolution 1, and just Revolution, if you were to go off of just looking it up, because Revolution is actually a little bit better than Revolution 1, but whatever. Revolution 9 and Good Night. Honestly, I can make a shorter album than that. But here's the thing, the filler works, it keeps you interested, you're just like, wait, okay, so that's just a kind of decent song, but what's going to happen after it? And that's why I like the album so much. And that's all I really have to say. I mean, am I the greatest Beatlesologist? No. So that's why you're not going to hear me go into so much detail. And I know, and let me tell you this, I'm going off to the stereo versions, because I know the mono versions, some of them are really off, and really, some of them aren't, like, I don't know, some of them I don't listen to. I don't listen to any mono pressings of them, and yeah. I don't know, I prefer stereo, but I don't like how the stereo version has, like, there'll be drums on one side, and then everything else on the other, so you have to keep both headphones in, and sometimes I can't really do that, so that's the only thing I really don't like with Beatles. Anyway, I'm getting off topic. Number 2, and it's been my number 2 for a long time, and then the White Album came in, and I was like, that's number 2, so then we switched it. I switched it. Number 2, actually, I have the record. This is the only Beatles record I own. That's a UK one. I'm just going off the UK, I'm not going off the United States one. I wanted to pick up that box set, though. It's coming out. Okay. Oh, God. I thought I broke it. But I don't know how you break. I don't fucking know anymore. Let's just roll up a bunch. And it's the Magical Mystery Tour. Why the Magical Mystery Tour? Personally, I think this is a very flawless album. I don't know why I'm showing you everything. So I'm going to be doing a record update soon, but whatever. I'm starting to get into it. I'm starting to get into Beatles. I only know certain things about it, and I think I had, yeah, this is a repressing from the 70s, I think. I'm getting way too into it, so that's what it looks like. There's no color on the record, and it's in pretty good shape. And I can't get it back yet. Fuck it. Why do I like the album so much? Well, let's see. It drags you in by the first track. And if anything drags me in by the first track the most, it's this and my number 1. The White Album with Back in USSR, it does drag me in a little bit, but, I mean, honestly, it doesn't drag me in as much as it should. Now, I'm going to go over the tracks again. And we're already going on 14 minutes, so I'm just going to try to speed up a little bit. What's my favorite tracks? Honestly, all of them. I think the only track I'm not a huge fan of is Baby You're a Rich Man. And that's really it. Like, I really like Magical Mystery Tour. The Fool on the Hill is one of my favorite songs of all time. Flying's a really great instrumental. Blue Jay Way's a really great song. Your Mother Should Know is a really good song. I'm the Walrus, one of my favorite Beatles songs of all time. Hello Goodbye, one of my favorite Beatles songs of all time. Strawberry Fields Forever, one of my favorite Beatles songs of all time. Penny Lane, one of my favorite Beatles songs of all time. Baby You're a Rich Man, I don't know, you could have done the album without it, but it's a decent addition. And then you have All You Need Is Love, which honestly, I'm going to talk about this now. I don't know if this stops at 50, I don't think it does, because I know one of my things stopped at 15 minutes. So, wait, I'm going to stop right here. If it stops at 15 minutes, tune into part 1 right after this video, and I'll see you later. Nope. Okay. So it didn't stop. So it's not going to stop. I just wanted to make sure it wasn't going to stop anytime soon. All You Need Is Love is definitely the most underrated Beatles song of all time, and this is why I'm saying it. It gets a lot of praise and a lot of love from everyone else, but from true Beatles fans, I've never seen it on a Beatles top 10 list. And it's never under the rated songs. It's never in the top 20. It's always like either off the list or it's in the top like 40s. And here's the thing: I don't understand why, because it's really well composed. Like you have all the it sounds like a fucking orchestra. It really does. And they used a lot of fucking instruments from an orchestra. And that sounded like glass breaking. But I'm just... Yeah, probably. So, I mean, it's the most underrated, and I'm gonna make a video about it. I don't know, but I'm so tired. I just want to get on this album number one. And album number one, you probably could have guessed it because it's been off the list. It's I have it on CD. I don't know what the fuck it is. It's probably on my chair. I have a couple actually of my favorite albums on chair. Anyway, let's just say it wasn't. Was it 20? No. Was it 40? It was I don't want to do the math on screen because I don't want to take up too much time. Let's see. I'll just do the math anyway. 10, 20, 30, 40. Almost 50 years ago. 3 years will be 50. So it was 47 years ago today that Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band came out, and it's my favorite Beatles album of all time. That was really a really bad segment. I should have done that. I should have rehearsed that, but why? Well, you're asking yourself, why is Sgt. Pepper's? And a lot of people are going to say, because it's experimental, right? You love the experimental. No. Here's why I love the album. It's probably like one of my top 5 favorite albums of all time. And so is Magical Mystery Tour. Not White Album. White Album, I don't think, even if it was my second favorite Beatles album, I don't think it would be on my favorite list in the top, 10. It would probably be in the top 20. God, I'm talking a lot. Okay. Why? Why is it my top album? Well, it's really original. And you're probably like, well, doesn't that mean experimental? No, because I'm original. I'm not experimental. I'm going to do drugs. I'm just saying. If it is a concept album, then it's a really great concept album. If it's a really experimental album, in some elements it is, then yeah, it's the best experimental album of all time. But, I mean, if its first 3 tracks are flawless, you know you're working with a good album there. I mean, come on. If you're going to sit here and deny it, that Sgt. Pepper's doesn't have probably the best first 6 songs of all time, and you could just make the first 6 songs into an EP. How long is it? How long is the first 6 songs? 18 minutes. If you can make that into EP, this would still probably be in the top. This would still probably be my top favorite album. But then you have Benefit of Mr. Kite, Within Without You, When I'm 64, Lovely Rita, Good Morning, Good Morning, the reprise of Sgt. Pepper's, and The Day in the Life. The Day in the Life is the best Beatles song ever. Even though it's not my favorite, I can say it's the best song ever. Not the best song ever, but you know what I mean. It's the best Beatles song ever. You cannot deny that unless you think maybe Come Together is, or maybe you think Yellow Submarine. I don't know why. Hate Bulldog, which is still one of my favorite songs, even though it's not. It's a really underrated song. No one talks about it. It's quite weird. I don't know what else to say about it other than go out and listen to it because honestly the first 6 tracks are so flawless. And I don't like to say flawless in music, but they are. They really are flawless. And it's something you guys need to hear, and you need to hear the album. I don't know what else to say. Go out and check all these albums out. Go out and check the whole Beatles discography out. It's something to really think about. Like, damn, it's actually really good. But we can't just talk about Beatles on this channel. We gotta talk about wrestling. I'll be back soon. Maybe even tonight. It's 8 o'clock right now. I could pump out a quick little video just talking about what I think about WWE's new service coming out. So yeah, guys, keep it 100, smoke a joint, do some shit, okay. I'm done, and I'm gonna lick your face because, I like you like that. Bye, motherfuckers.